There's a new leader for Seth Rollins' group, the best and worst of WWE Raw before SummerSlam. Rey Mysterio is El Grande Americano. The WWE finally gives an update on Drew McIntyre missing SummerSlam. Why did WWE reuse Triple H's Hulk Hogan tribute speech on Raw? Triple H reveals the creative pitch for John Cena's heel turn. WWE fans are tired of a top female Raw star. Triple H confirms the outcome of Roman Reigns' SummerSlam match. Let's dive right in. The best and worst of WWE Raw before SummerSlam. Another Monday Night Raw is done, and it was all about building up to the SummerSlam 2025 premium live event. The show didn't drop any huge bombshells, focusing instead on setting up stories that will either wrap up or keep going at the biggest party of the summer. Even so, there were some standout matches and moments that'll stick with fans, along with a few head-scratching choices. One decision in particular might be the night's biggest misstep. Here's a rundown of the best and worst from Monday Night Raw, including a new faction leader, a sizzling SummerSlam main event, and a strange call by Triple H and WWE. Number 1, the best, Gunther versus CM Punk sizzles. CM Punk and Gunther faced off in the ring on Raw, but not for a fight. Instead, they did what they do best, hyped their SummerSlam match with pure mic magic. Last week, Gunther outshined Punk with his sharp words, leaving the ring general on top. This time, Punk fired back, proving why the Second City Saint is a master on the microphone. Their promos were simple but hit hard because both stars make their characters feel so real. Nobody plays their roles better, and they showed it again. Who's not pumped for their SummerSlam clash now? Number 2, the best. A new El Grande Americano shakes things up. Raw delivered a thrilling championship match when the Judgment Day's Finn Balor and JD McDonough defended the World Tag Team titles against the Latino World Order's Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde. The match was electric and boosted Cruz and Joaquin's stock in WWE. But the real shock came at the end. El Grande Americano and Dragon Lee got tangled up and fought to the back, paving the way for a surprise. A second El Grande Americano appeared, costing LWO the win. Nobody knows who this new masked figure is. Could it be an NXT star, someone from AAA, or even Pete Dunne? The mystery is gripping and sets up a big hook for next week's Raw and beyond. Number 3, the worst. No stipulation for Karrion Kross versus Sami Zayn is a huge miss. The feud between Karrion Kross and Sami Zayn has two sides. Their backstage promos and interviews have been awesome, but their in-ring matches have been a letdown. For some reason, their chemistry in the ring just isn't clicking. So, when WWE announced Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross 3 for SummerSlam, fans hoped a stipulation would spice things up. Sadly, that didn't happen. On Raw, they cut a solid promo, but the only twist was that the loser has to admit the winner is right. That's not enough to get fans excited, and Triple H dropped the ball by keeping this a standard singles match. Number 4, the best. Bron Breakker steps up and crushes it. Raw brought a jaw-dropping moment during a backstage segment. Bron Breakker, joined by Bronson Reed and Paul Heyman, boldly declared himself the new leader of their faction, with Seth Rollins sidelined by injury. As if that wasn't enough, Breakker made a huge impact in the main event segment. He and Reed completely overwhelmed Jey Uso and Roman Reigns, with Bronson even swiping Roman's shoes. The beatdown was incredible, and Breakker's power move to take charge was a highlight. Both he and Reed looked like future world champions with this strong booking. Let's hope this isn't just a setup for them to lose at SummerSlam and fade back down the card. Rey Mysterio is El Grande Americano. Monday Night Raw before SummerSlam left fans with plenty to talk about, especially a new mystery figure who showed up during the show. The moment came when the Judgment Day defended their World Tag Team Championship against the Latino World Order, LWO. El Grande Americano made his presence felt, trying to throw LWO off their game. The babyface team pushed through the distraction and nearly pulled off a high-flying move on Finn Balor, but a second figure in a red, white, and blue mask appeared, costing LWO the match. Rey Mysterio recently returned at a WWE Super Show in Mexico City, but he hasn't appeared on TV yet. Could the master of the 619 be the man behind the mask, with WWE planning a shocking heel turn? Before his injury, Rey was a key part of the LWO alliance. This masked man angle might be WWE's way of flipping his character to a villain. It's possible Rey returned as this new mystery figure on Raw to shake things up. Meanwhile, Chad Gable and the Creed brothers were part of a group before Gable got hurt. It's widely believed Gable was the original El Grande Americano. With him sidelined, one of the Creed brothers could have taken up the mask to handle their rivals. Brutus Creed seems more likely than Julius to be the masked man, based on the mystery figure's height. Since this new El Grande Americano appeared on Raw, Pete Dunne has also become a hot topic. Many fans think the cruiserweight could be the man behind the mask. Some even point out similarities between Dunne and Gable, noting both have had beef with Penta in the past. Plus, the masked figure's facial structure looks a bit like the 31-year-old star. All signs seem to suggest the former NXT United Kingdom champion might be the mystery man stirring things up on Raw. The WWE finally gives an update on Drew McIntyre missing SummerSlam. Drew McIntyre is currently stranded in the United Kingdom, unable to return to the United States just days before SummerSlam 2025. WWE has finally shared an update, shedding light on their plans for the event. Despite living in Nashville as a U.S. resident for years, McIntyre hit a roadblock when he tried to re-enter the country after attending a wedding. The star posted a promo venting about possibly missing SummerSlam, and reports quickly confirmed the issue was real, not a storyline. There was even talk of replacing him on the show. But WWE cleared things up on Raw, confirming McIntyre is still set to team with Logan Paul against Jelly Roll and Randy Orton at SummerSlam, including him in the event's lineup. WWE expects to get the star back in time for the big show, ensuring he can compete. According to inside sources from Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, WWE's legal team is working hard to bring McIntyre back to the U.S. The trouble started when McIntyre used his UK passport for the trip after SmackDown to attend the wedding. When he tried to return, officials rejected his passport, saying he's a US citizen, not a UK citizen. WWE Legal is working on getting Drew McIntyre back in the US by Saturday for SummerSlam. Basically, he brought his UK passport with him, since he was going to the UK after SmackDown to a wedding. When he went to come home, they didn't accept the passport, saying he was a US citizen, not a UK citizen. That was the last we heard, but was told WWE is working on it. I certainly expect it'll be cleared up shortly, Meltzer revealed. Why did WWE reuse Triple H's Hulk Hogan tribute speech on Raw? WWE honored Hulk Hogan on Raw just days after his passing, but it turns out the tribute speech from Triple H wasn't fresh at all. Inside sources, as reported by Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio, revealed that WWE reused the same speech Triple H gave on Friday Night SmackDown, with only minor edits to hide the timeline. The July 28th episode of Raw kicked off with a somber moment, as the WWE roster, Nick Hogan, Eric Bischoff, and Nick's wife stood together on stage. Triple H seemed to deliver a moving tribute to Hogan, but Meltzer says it was just a rerun of Friday's speech, tweaked to feel live. So the Raw show opened up with another Hogan tribute and 10-bell salute. And it was very weird because on Friday they had all the roster out on the stage, and Hunter standing there in the middle with a microphone, and he does a short speech. Then they played a music video. Well, on this show they have all of the Raw roster on the stage, plus Nick Hogan and Eric Bischoff and Nick's wife, and they replayed the Hunter speech, like they just replayed the one from Friday like he was saying it live again. It was so weird. Meltzer caught on because of a small clue. Triple H stumbled over the same word in both speeches. That led him to compare the two segments side by side. I probably wouldn't even have noticed, except he stumbled over a word on Friday, and then he stumbled over the same word on Monday, and I thought, that's kind of weird. So I actually loaded up SmackDown, and I was going back and forth, and I went, oh my god, they just replayed a tape. WWE even edited out the word yesterday from the original speech to cover up the timing. They edited out the word yesterday, because the original speech on Friday, he said, yesterday we lost, and they cut out the word yesterday. This discovery raises eyebrows about how WWE handled such a heartfelt moment. By recycling a recorded speech and passing it off as live, it seems the company might have chosen production ease over genuine emotion. Meanwhile, Mattel's new Hulk Hogan retro figure sparked chaos this week, selling out online in minutes. During the July 28th Raw, a promo aired for the figure, designed to mimic the classic LJN wrestling toys from the 1980s. In under 10 minutes, the pre-order stock vanished. WrestleVotes captured the moment with a post. As they just referenced on Raw, the famous LJN figures are back. The Hulk Hogan pre-order is already sold out, less than 10 minutes after the promo aired. Hulkamania running wild. This marks the first release in Mattel's tribute line, recreating the iconic 8-inch rubber LJN figures from 1984 to 1989. The Hogan figure comes with a replica Winged Eagle WWF Championship belt and retro packaging from the rock and wrestling era. Collectors are calling it a must-own, and the timing, right after Hogan's passing, fueled massive demand. While the pre-order sold out, Mattel plans to stock the figure in stores like Target starting this October, with more classic wrestler figures to follow. Triple H reveals the creative pitch for John Cena's heel turn. John Cena stayed a hero his whole career, but that flipped on the road to WrestleMania 41, and now Triple H is pulling back the curtain on how it all came together. A new YouTube clip from Netflix's WWE Unreal shows Triple H explaining the careful planning behind Cena's heel turn, involving key players like Travis Scott, and The Rock. It took a few phone calls to make it happen, starting with WWE President Nick Khan. The clip looks slick, backed by Netflix's top-notch editing. There are 5 people that I talked to with a move this big. It's Rock, obviously, it's Cody, Cena, Travis Scott, who we want to help build this idea around, and then WWE President, of course, Nick Khan. So my first call is to Nick, who's also a board member along with Rock. I run the idea by him. Nick basically says, love all of it. So my next reach out at that point is to Rock. I hit him with, what if, hear me out on this, and he just listened. Every now and then through the conversation, he would go, I wasn't sure if he was giving me the, get to the end so I can tell you how much I hate this, or, right? And I got to the end and he was like, wow, man, I gotta tell you, I think that's genius, like, let's, and he immediately started riffing thoughts and ideas, right? So we spent probably another 30 minutes on the phone talking about this, and the more we talked about it, the more we were both getting excited about it and into it. My next conversation is with Travis Scott. I make sure Travis is comfortable with the creative. He loves it and says, let's do this. Somewhere in there, Cody hits me back. I get with Cody. When I hit him with it, he's like, holy shit, I didn't think that's what you were gonna say. Wow, that's really cool. Then I talk to John. John's the best. He's like, well, before you say it, just know if this is what you believe in, I'm in. I said, John, okay, let's take the bullshit hat off. Now this is not the head of creative talking to you and you the performer. I said, I am asking John Cena, the human being. Paul Levesque is talking to you. Give me your gut. This impacts John Cena, the real-life human being, and it impacts his movies, and it impacts his PR schedule, and impacts everything. We're honest. I said, give me your gut. You like it or you don't. And he was like, I like it a lot, actually. And when I hung up the phone with him, within a minute and a half, I've gotten like 3 different texts from him of thoughts, ideas, and so I'm like, right, he's engaged. So once we get to that point, now it's a coordinated effort. Everybody is getting together. Rock's reaching out to Cody, Nick reaching out to Rock, Cody's reaching out to Cena, Cena's reaching out to everybody. So one of the things that we all talked about on the phone was, let's keep this tight. Nobody gets this information that isn't on this phone call. Triple H recently shared a new promo image for WWE, Unreal on Instagram, showing him face-to-face with Jey Uso with the tagline, it's more real than you think. His caption read, you never know what to believe until now. The 5-part Netflix docuseries premiered on July 29th, and fans are thrilled for a reason. The show's lineup is packed. Episode 1 dives into Raw's Netflix debut. Episode 2 covers the Men's Royal Rumble and Jey Uso's victory. Episode 3 spotlights the women's division. Episode 4 digs into John Cena's heel turn, promising some juicy details. The final episode focuses on WrestleMania matches, including Cody Rhodes versus John Cena and CM Punk versus Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. Only time will tell how many secrets the series spills. WWE fans are tired of a top female Raw star. WWE's roster is packed with incredible talent, and the women's division is bursting with stars. Becky Lynch, Lyra Valkyria, and Bayley stand out as some of the best, shining in the mid-card title scene while leaving the World Championship picture untouched, proving just how deep the division is. But inside sources, speaking on the Legion of Raw on Sportskeeda Wrestle Binge, claimed that fans are already losing interest in Lyra Valkyria. The former Women's Intercontinental Champion has had fans cheering her on throughout her WWE run. Her feud with Becky Lynch, which kicked off after WrestleMania, has been a major highlight of her young career. Yet, the insider argued that Lyra's spark with the audience is fading fast, saying fans only liked her at first because she's a solid wrestler, but now they've seen all she has to offer. If part of their act is not an audience participation, they get tired of them real quick. They liked Lyra Valkyria for a couple of weeks. Why? Because they thought she was a good wrestler. Now we've seen her entire repertoire. Now there's nothing left. She got nothing for us to sing along to. Like, what's left? It's done. It's over. Like, it's literally over. And you can see that, bro, Russo said. Lyra and Becky are set to clash for the 3rd time over the Women's Intercontinental Championship at SummerSlam 2025 this weekend. Lynch will defend her title in a no disqualification match against the former champ. If Becky wins, Lyra won't be able to challenge for the belt as long as Lynch holds it. Triple H confirms the outcome of Roman Reigns' SummerSlam match. Roman Reigns is joining forces with Jey Uso to face Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed in a massive tag team showdown at SummerSlam 2025. This clash pits 2 of WWE's biggest names against the future of the company. But Triple H, The creative mastermind might have dropped a clue about the match's outcome on the final Raw before the event. Reigns and Uso took a brutal beating from the heel duo on Raw, which could mean the babyface team is set to triumph at the biggest party of the summer. The go-home show before a major event is WWE's last chance to pump up storylines and matches. For years, WWE has followed a pattern. The team or star who looks strong on the go-home show often loses at the premium live event. This gives heels a moment to shine as a real threat, setting up the babyfaces to overcome the odds at the big show. It's a classic move to make fans cheer harder for the good guys after seeing them get crushed. The attack on Reigns and Uso paints them as underdogs, getting fans to rally behind their comeback at SummerSlam. When heels dominate the final show, it creates doubt about the babyfaces' chances, making the match feel unpredictable. WWE has long used this trick to tell compelling stories. If Triple H is sticking to this playbook, Breakker and Reed standing tall on Raw hints that Reigns and Uso could walk away with the win at SummerSlam. Of course, this is just a guess based on WWE's usual booking style. We'll have to wait and see how things play out at the big event. Roman Reigns, one of WWE's top stars with an iconic career, has been appearing less often due to his part-time schedule. That might continue, as there's a good chance Triple H will give him time off after SummerSlam 2025. The OTC is reportedly set to star as Akuma in a live-action Street Fighter movie, with filming starting in August in Australia. This schedule suggests Reigns may need to step away from WWE right after SummerSlam. The company could give him a break to focus on his Hollywood role. To make this work, Triple H might craft a clever angle at SummerSlam. Even if Reigns and Uso win the tag match, Breakker and Reed could attack them viciously afterward. This would create a storyline to write Reigns off TV while letting Breakker and Reed look like serious threats, even if they lose. There's a new leader for Seth Rollins' group. With Seth Rollins sidelined by a real-life injury, he's been absent from WWE Raw, and the latest episode made it clear he'll be out for a while. Paul Heyman, speaking on the show, confirmed the Visionary's absence, and it seems WWE has quietly set up Bron Breakker as the new leader of Rollins' group. At the start of Raw, Heyman tried to sway Jey Uso about their upcoming SummerSlam tag team match, but it didn't go as planned. Later, in a backstage moment with Bronson Reed, Heyman noted that without Seth Rollins leading them, the faction is just another group. That's when Bron Breakker stepped in, declaring, "Which we now have." He didn't stop there. He fired up Reed for his main event match against Jey Uso. Once Reed left, Breakker told Heyman he has a plan ready. His bold words and actions signal that he's stepping up as the new leader of Seth Rollins' faction. Heyman didn't seem thrilled about Breakker's move, but with few options left, he's in no position to argue. Last week on Raw, Heyman had already offered the leadership to Roman Reigns, who turned it down flat. It looks like Breakker is seizing control of the group while Rollins is out, ready to lead them against Reigns and Jey Uso at SummerSlam 2025. The new dog of WWE is taking over, hinting that Triple H's creative team might be setting the stage for Rollins' faction to turn babyface. This feels similar to when Solo Sikoa took over the Bloodline after Roman's hiatus following his title loss at last year's WrestleMania, which led to the OTC becoming a fan-favorite hero. Since Breakker is claiming leadership without Rollins' approval, it could spark trouble when the Architect returns. Rollins might question how the 27-year-old is calling the shots without his say-so, setting up a clash. This tension could pave the way for Rollins to turn babyface once he's back from injury.